Schoolphobia, who's currently rank 4 on EU West, has started playing some Renata Glasc. So in this video I'll be showing you one of his games to help you dominate on the new champion. Into the laning phase here, we'll see that he's trying to achieve level 1 since they're not leashing, and he starts E to poke the Thresh. He is a very powerful ability early game because not only does it damage the enemy, but it also shields you and lets you get a free auto attack worth of damage on top of the E damage. So whenever it's off cooldown, you have to actively look for trades since it's a very powerful trading ability. And even if you miss the E but trade autos, you'll still win those trades. It even helps with wave push and securing the level 2 spike. Renata has pretty good range, so paired up with carries like Jinx or Caitlyn, she's super good at playing push and poke. So you have to make sure you hit the enemy ADC on last hits whenever possible. On this minion they'll also hit too, so there's no reason to be afraid of the enemy level up. They just have to be aware of Thresh positioning to avoid getting hooked. And here they're just walking back to avoid taking damage from Aphelios. You can just see that Renata is trying to contest every minion possible for poke onto this Aphelios. And because Thresh Q is on cooldown, Renata's not afraid of trying to trade here. And notice now how she's starting to hit the wave. This is because she wants to secure lane prio to help Hecarim on his crab. But as soon as they see Viego on the map and realize that they're getting ganked, they start to back off and play a little bit safer. You can see they're being very cautious and only walking up to hit the wave whenever they have space to do so. Just because Viego showed up bot side doesn't mean we have to surrender the lane, we still have to try and do whatever we can. They hit level 3 first, and although it might seem risky walking into this bush here as Renata, she has Hecarim behind her for backup and also the Jinx. Of course, since she's sandwiched here, she gets jumped on by everybody, but she plays it absolutely amazingly with this W. She baited it amazingly, she has a second chance at life, and all she has to do right now is just run, keep alive, and this is going to be a huge one fight for her team. Unfortunately, Ahri shows up here in the bottom lane, and Hecarim looks like he will fall. But this is absolutely huge. Echo's got the wave in, she's going to be losing minions. Echo will have summoner spell advantage now, and they absolutely smashed this fight. So of course it's time to base and spend gold now. And off she goes back to lane. Being back to lane now, you can see Renata is posturing to poke the Aphelios if he steps too close. She's not afraid of being aggressive because they're currently ahead. Unfortunately, she misses the E here, but at least she gets an auto attack for Aphelios trying to hit the wave. And she's trying really hard to exploit Aphelios while he's on cooldown, always being careful of the Thresh hook range. And as soon as it's on cooldown, you can see they're walking straight in towards the Aphelios and they're looking for kills. The wave is in a pretty bad spot to hide away from Thresh hook, so they're just going to play it safe here until they can walk up. Renata finds some really nice E-poke here onto the Thresh, and surprisingly the chompers land there. It looks like Thresh is trying to bait for a gank or something, so they're being quite cautious in terms of the approach here. And you can see there is the Viego bush camping, looking for the action, but Hecarim's coming in from behind and they're all going in now. If they won the fight earlier, they can win it again. Hecarim finds big pick onto that Thresh. Aphelios is going to fall and that Viego's done. This is huge. They pick up 3 kills. They're going to get the wave in. Jinx will probably get a few plates and this should be the dragon secured up. But nope, Hecarim recalls. So we're just going to help get the wave in and probably look for a reset. Being back in lane, once Renata sees Thresh roaming mid, she immediately pushes the wave in so they can either follow or poke or dive Aphelios. Since they're quite ahead in bot lane, they really want to start focusing on Dragon's vision control and overall controlling the bottom side of the map. Renata doesn't have any wards currently, but Hecarim can sweep, and with their bot lane advantage, they can easily get priority for this dragon. Unfortunately, because of the coin flipping from Jinx here, they're forced into not the most amazing fight. Renata nearly gets locked up and CC'd, but thankfully with the stopwatch in the runes, she does get to survive. But everyone's got to back off now. Everyone's quite low and just very random coin flipping from the Jinx there. She had a level advantage, but didn't really make sense to just go for that when Renata wasn't in lane with her yet. Hecarim sees a one-shot onto the Viego, I'm assuming, runs in, gets flayed by the Thresh, and looks like it's going to be a 4 versus 4. Thankfully, Echo is matching the Ahri roam this time, but I don't think this is going to continue. Hecarim will fall, feeds over a shutdown to the Ahri. They do trade for the Thresh, and because of this coin flip started by Jinx, they end up with a not worth at all trade for the Hecarim for Thresh. What Schoolphobia should have done here is definitely ping the play off after realizing that it's just a coin flip, or at least not try to instigate it further by trying to contest wards on like 20% HP. Because Renata saw that Ahri was looking for a roam, it's time to play safe bot lane, so instead of being AFK, she's gonna go try catch her with Echo on this roam. Of course, they can't really gank the Ahri when she has her ulti up, so they're just gonna look to collapse on the bot lane. Renata and Hecarim are both trying to focus the Aphelios, but unfortunately he's already safe, so this just ends up as a pick onto the Thresh. And since there's no wave to dive the Aphelios and Renata isn't needed to keep the Jinx alive, she looks to go for a roam. We can see the Echo is picking up on the Renata roam and he's engaging to fight the Ahri. But unfortunately, looking at the map, you can see that Renata isn't even aware of this fight that is going on. So of course, Thresh comes in here to keep his Ahri alive. And even though Echo nearly outplays it here, had Renata just been more aware, this would have easily been a double kill. Since all the action is topside and Jinx is safe bot, Renata is looking for roams. Jinx is in a 1 versus 2 scenario here, completely outplays the Ahri, and with the range she is kiting the Aphelios out. 3-0 and 5, this Jinx with her Gale Force and Berserker Greaves manages to win this 1 versus 2, and this is the importance of playing out the lane well, because if you've got a decent ADC they can pull off things like this. And even better, if you're with them, then there's just no question about winning those fights. Now that they've cracked open the bot lane tower, they've rotated over to mid, and this is so they can make things happen with lane priority. They can push the wave and look for dragon, then look for invades, and they can just overall have vision control over objectives and make it very hard for the enemy team to move around. Karma comes in for a roam here. Q goes wide from Renata, so not much is going to happen. Thresh is stepping up, does hook the Karma, and here comes in Viego and Ahri. This is quite a random fight. They could have easily been on the top side and helping Hecarim with the Herald, but you see Karma gets picked off, Hecarim goes in for the dive and he just falls as well. So again, some kind of random coin flipping, which is not something you would expect to see at rank 4. At this stage, they finally managed to secure their lane priority. Ahri's coming in here by herself for a pick. Unfortunately, Renata Q does not hit her, and this is not a great fight. Hecarim is stuck in the middle of 4 people by himself. They just gotta walk away from this one. Back onto the map, you've really got to be grouped up with your teammates. You can see Karma's looking for a play in the mid lane here. Jinx is following, and so is Renata. Renata W might be able to save her if she falls here. Viego does flash, so I think she will fall anyway. But maybe they can pull something off here. Jinx is still quite healthy. We'll find the Thresh. Viego finds the ulti on the Jinx, and that is quite unfortunate. Nice juke out from Renata. And unfortunately, because they did follow up on a pretty bad play from the Karma, they do fall. So one thing you should take away from this is that you've really got to be conscious of the plays you're going for, especially if they're started by other players. Sometimes it's better off to ping it off. Anyway, we can finally see that Renata's team is actually moving as a unit, so if they can actually find a good team fight, they should be able to accomplish something. This Jinx is really fed, 5, 1, and 6, nearly 3 items, so if they find a pick, or if they just find a nice, straightforward team fight, this should work out well for them. Viego's coming in from the back line, looking for his Jinx, and it looks like a fight is actually breaking out. Hecarim with the big ulti, they managed to pick off the Thresh, and there's the Jinx with the W buff. Absolutely slaughtered that Irelia. So this will open up the Baron buff finally, and this is the importance of actually controlling the map. You saw they moved in, they took the enemy's bot side, and they've got vision control. Being grouped up again, they're looking for the siege, and that's a really nice cue from the Renata to punish the Thresh, looking for that sneaky hook angle. Really nice pickup, and they should be able to continue the siege here. At this stage, with Jinx being 3 items, all Renata really has to do is just provide a W for her and an ulti to peel anybody away from her, and she can just wreak havoc on the enemy team. Unfortunately, she does fall there, kiting all the way over to the enemy's inhibitor nearly, but I think this should be the game end. So if you did enjoy watching this video, make sure to leave a like and check out my other enchanter videos if you'd like to learn more. Or you could also get in contact for coaching. My Discord's in the description.